Andrea Johnson may have made her biggest blunder yet at the Matlala Commission, after what many believe was an unexpected slip that appeared to reveal information she had not previously disclosed publicly. The same woman who has been at the center of the legal battle involving Lieutenant General Matlala Mchunu and crime intelligence boss Lieutenant General Dumisani Kumalo found herself under intense scrutiny during the commission. While giving evidence, she attempted to explain who authorized the arrest of General Kumalo, but after persistent questioning from the commissioners, she appeared to mention the name of a minister. She also referred to Kat Matlala, General Sibia, and Katiso Molefe. Her testimony has sparked widespread discussion, and what was said has left many people talking. If you want the full breakdown, grab your popcorn, sit back, and watch until the very end. Supporters of General Mchunu continue to stand firmly behind him. If you're one of them, hit the like button, comment Viva Mchunu, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Jabulani, reveal the moment Andrea Johnson allegedly mentioned the senior ANC minister linked to the decision to arrest General Khumalo and the claims surrounding efforts against General Mchunu.
It is dealt with by a separate legislative section in the NPA,
Okay.
and when we do find shortcomings, we do escalate to them for their engagements with the Department of Justice.
All right, you can
I'd
come
rather
back
give
on
you a
that.
correct answer.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Ms.
You may proceed with your statement, Advocate.
Paragraph 9. Having identified the mandate of IDAC, I now turn to the charges against Lieutenant General Kumalo and co-accused. Capital B, the charges against Lieutenant General S.D. Kumalo. Paragraph 10, a charge sheet is a public document. Thus, as opposed to regurgitating its content, I should do no less or more than to refer the Commission to the charge sheet. A true copy of his charge sheet is attached here too and marked AJ1. Paragraph 11. The charge sheet concerns not only Lieutenant General Kumalo, but his co-accused as well. In the charge sheet, I emphasize and draw the attention of the Commission to the charges which each of the accused persons, Lieutenant General Khumalo in particular, is facing. The Commission will note that they are facing, among others, 11.1, contraventions of the provisions of Section 4A of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, 12 of 2004. 11.2, contraventions of the provisions of Section 4B of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, again 12 of 2004. And 11.3, fraud and other related offenses. Paragraph C, the arrest of Lieutenant General Kumalo. The evidence before this Commission is that Lieutenant General Kumalo was arrested in a dramatic fashion. Nothing can be further from the truth. It is important that I address this aspect as well. Paragraph 13. Lieutenant General Kumalo was arrested on 26 June 2025 at Oliver Reginald Tambo International Airport, Otia. Only 2 senior criminal investigators in IDAC, senior criminal investigators within IDAC, were tasked with the exercise and effected his arrest. It was Mr. Sunil Belochan and Ayan Dambalo, in brackets, the investigators. If I may then pause here, yes. Commissioners, and Advocate Selo, to go to the last statement, statement number 3.
You deal with that correction at your paragraph 10.1.
That is correct. So paragraph 14, as it reads in the original...
Before we do so,
Sorry.
what do you suggest? Are you going to amend some parts of that paragraph, of the current paragraph 14 of the main statement, or are you proposing an entire deletion of that paragraph and substitution?
An entire deletion of that paragraph, as well as paragraph 15.
Thank you.
Because they should read correctly, and as they currently stand in the original affidavit, they do not read correctly.
Okay. Then let's deal with the first.
Paragraph 14 of the original affidavit to be deleted and to read as it does in paragraph 10.1 of the third statement. I say in 10.1, paragraph 14 must be replaced and should read as follows. Lieutenant General Kumalo was arrested after he had landed at the Oliver Reginald Tambo International Airport, Otia. I do not recall where he was traveling from. I was informed that, at the time, his co-accused had already been invited to report to the Brooklyn police station. That is the correction.
Noted.
I therefore ask as well that paragraph 15 of the original affidavit, Commissioners, be deleted and to read as it does in paragraph 10.2 of the last affidavit, wherein I state paragraph 15 must be replaced and should read as follows. The investigators went to Otia to inform General Khumalo that there was a warrant for his arrest and for him to hand himself over. They had a warrant of arrest for him. Warrants of arrest had also been sought and obtained for his co-accused before they were requested to hand themselves over at the Brooklyn SEPS. Those are the corrections, Commissioners, to paragraphs 14 and 15 of the original affidavit.
Noted. Thank you. We may proceed, I think, with your statement.
If I could just have some water. Thank you. Paragraph 16. Upon finding him at Otia, the two investigators explained who they were, why they were there, why he was sought, and what his rights were. They then asked Lieutenant General S.D. Kumalo to accompany them to Brooklyn Police Station in Pretoria. He cooperated and was taken there. There was nothing dramatic about it. 17. At all times during his arrest, Lieutenant General Kumalo's security detail was with him. He was not threatened and was accorded all the respect that could be accorded a person of his profile. On the way from Otia to Brooklyn Police Station, the investigators had occasion to stop and get something to drink from a filling station at the request of Lieutenant General Kumalo for himself. Paragraph 18. Once Lieutenant General Kumalo had been processed at Brooklyn Police Station, he personally thanked Chief Investigator Perumal for treating him and the other co-accused in a respectful and dignified manner. This talks to anything but the conduct of a unit that is motivated by ulterior motives other than to address alleged criminality. Paragraph 19. I would be remiss if I do not dismiss the suggestion that Lieutenant General Kumalo was arrested because he was the coordinator of the Political Killings Task Team, in brackets, PKTT. This suggestion is anything but true. It is false as it is unfortunate. The truth is that IDAC was investigating Lieutenant General Kumalo in his capacity as the Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence for alleged unlawful conduct that manifested itself in the execution of his duties in that capacity. Paragraph 20. The fact that Lieutenant General Kumalo also held another portfolio in relation to the PKTT was not within our knowledge. At no stage was I, as the head of IDAC, aware that Lieutenant General Kumalo had anything to do with the PKTT, let alone being its convener. In any event, even had I been aware of same, such would have been irrelevant because of the reasons for his arrest. I have attached it to this affidavit and therefore placed his charge sheet at the disposal of this commission. Paragraph D. The charges fall within the mandate of the IDAC. 21. The allegations concerning Lieutenant General Khumalo and co-accused came to the attention of IDAC by way of a referral that was made in terms of Section 27 of the NPA Act. 22. Section 27 of the NPA Act provides that, quote, if any person has reasonable grounds to suspect that a specified offense has been or is being committed, or that an attempt has been made or is being made to commit such an offense, he or she may report the matter in question to the head of an investigating directorate by means of an affidavit or affirmed declaration specifying A, the nature of the suspicion, B, the grounds on which the suspicion is based, and C, all other relevant information known to the declarant, close quote. Paragraph 23. The referral was made by Mr. Fadil Adams, in brackets, Mr. Adams. It was not treated any differently. It was supervised and overseen like any other.
What do you mean by supervised?
Paragraph 31. When I joined the investigating directorate, ID, predecessor to the IDAC, there were already several complex fraud and corruption matters in place. These matters implicated very senior member of SAPS in alleged criminality. This was especially so in the supply chain management unit of the SAPS. Some of these matters were enrolled in various courts. 32. The accused in those matters included, amongst others, then Acting National Police Commissioner General Matlala, General Ngwenya, who was our first black female Deputy National Police Commissioner in the SAPS, and also at the time, the wife of Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibia, General Nematunzela, who was the head of analysis at Crime Intelligence, and various other very senior SAPS officials.
Before you proceed, I think for my understanding, when you submitted this statement, you were responding to specific Rule 3 issued by the Commission. Of what relevance is the contents of paragraph 32 to that Rule 3? You don't say anything about that beyond this point, so just to check what point you were seeking to put across.
So it is to indicate that IDAC had other matters that it was investigating against senior members of the South African Police, which matters I found were already within that space when I arrived, and that those matters related to the supply chain management issues, and that the officials mentioned in 32 are of the officials that were charged in the various courts on these matters.
And just to be clear, are the facts arising from any of those matters or investigations conducted in those matters, do they have any impact on what you have been dealing with, which is the arrest of General Kumalo in the current matter?
Police officials within the SAPS environment.
Understood. Thank you. We may then go to your paragraph E.
Paragraph E. Other issues raised by Mkhonazi. 33. Mkhwanazi also testified, that is General Mkhwanazi, also testified IDAC sought to get involved in matters involving syndicates in Gauteng. He is incorrect on the submission. 34, he alleges that he doesn't understand why IDAC was getting involved in the matters of Molefe and Matlala, as this was dealt with by the PKTT and Gauteng organized crime. 35, IDAC is not involved in any investigation relating to Molefe. With regards Vusi in inverted commas, Cat Matlala, Matlala in brackets, IDAC's only interest arose out of a Section 27 referral from SAPS with regards the unlawful awarding of a tender to his company, Medicare 24, and allegations of collusion and corruption with Matlala and some SAPS officials. IDAC did get cyber search warrants for the cell phones and electronic devices of Matlala. These were presented to IDAC by a Lieutenant Colonel Kumalo. The data was downloaded in his presence and he left with the devices. The information is sought in relation to the tender matter.
Before we leave paragraph 35, insofar as Mr. Matlala's case is concerned, do I understand you correctly that that was triggered by a different Section 27 referral received from SAPS? It's not the Section 27 referral that we've been discussing received from Mr. Adams.
The Minister, we are engaging you. So whether this was already prepared or not, at the time, we got this affidavit.
Okay, so then you recall when we were looking at MK16, the last sentence in MK16 before the signature by Mr. Gabinde states, Honorable Fadil Adams was advised by this office to await your decision in this regard. So it's fair then to conclude that your decision that you communicated to Mr. Adams is prepare an affidavit, Section 27 affidavit, and submit to IDAC. That's what you must have advised Mr. Adams, based on your testimony.
That is what the advice would have been.
Okay.
Just on something you said in response to Ms. Silo's previous question, you touched on the possibility that, not stating it as a fact, that the affidavit, you do not know whether the affidavit had already been prepared at the time of your instruction to Mr. Perumal. Did I understand you correctly?
That is correct.
No, that's not a fact. Look at that affidavit. It's dated 21 November 2020.
List that he gave me the list. I said to him, I conveyed the message of the prosecutor, and he conveyed to me he has no recollection of having given us or given me a list.
Okay. I guess let me leave it there for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. I would like us to consider, in relation to the issues under discussion now, the position you assumed before the Ad Hoc Committee. And for that purpose, I would like to refer you to File 3. And in particular, if we could go to page 559. That is CJC 375, which starts at 523. That's a transcript of your testimony before the Ad Hoc Committee.
Sorry, Counsel, you want me to go to page
559. Now, let's start, it's not numbered, the lines, but you see the line that reads the committee adjourned for lunch.
That is correct.
I want to pick it up from there. Advocate Arendse says to you, we are dealing with a referral by Mr. Adams in terms of Section 27.
You said that apart from seeing him on television screen, you do not know him at all. You say that is correct. You did not receive the referral yourself when it was received by IDAC. That is correct. What is the date of that referral? The second week of November 2024. So before ad hoc, you suggested that you didn't receive the referral affidavit from Mr. Adams. The last 2 days before the commissioners here, you indicated that you received it and you actually triggered an internal process resulting in a Section 2813 application for a preliminary investigation.
Correct.
The two are contradictory. Which is the true position? Is it what you stated to the ad hoc committee or what you are stating to this commission?
I took the question at the time to mean that I received it from Mr. Adams. That is why I prefaced it as I did by not knowing him. My office did receive the Section 27. That is the position. I received a Section 27 deposed to by Mr. Adams and dated the 21st of November 2024.
But how could you so understand when Mr. Arendse's question is very direct? You did not receive the referral yourself when it was received by IDAC. That's the question.
I did receive the referral.
And your answer to the ad hoc committee is that is correct. I did not receive it.
That's what I took it to mean. That I did not receive it from Mr. Adams, but I did receive the referral.
Where then did you receive it from?
The referral, when it came in an envelope to IDAC, to the officers, through the nominal document receival process, and then it was submitted to my office.
Okay. So you received it from IDAC. That's what you wanted to clarify to Mr. Arendse. You didn't receive it directly from Mr. Adams by hand, you received it from IDAC.
Correct.
Okay, your engagement doesn't go that far. But let's move on. Yes.
Are you leaving that page?
I am not. I'm staying with the page.
No, let me leave you to do.
All right. Now, the second leg of your engagement with Mr. Arendse on this issue, towards the bottom of that page, Mr. Arendse says, you are not aware of Mr. Adams also referring this matter to the National Commissioner of Police, the National Commissioner or the Minister. You say, no, not at all. Do you see where I'm reading?
Yes.
But we know after our engagement yesterday that MK16 tells us otherwise. Your entire basis for being persuaded by the referral is precisely because you said these issues had been raised with the minister. The minister or the minister's office had purported to refer this matter to you in terms of Section 27. We had quite a lengthy engagement, and you too, with the commissioners about what was the complaint to the minister. We suggested that it related to interference and interception. You insisted that it related to what is contained in the Section 27. Going with your understanding, then it can be correct that you did not know that he had complained to the minister, because we know our annexure MK16, which you confirmed you received, and you responded to, although you don't quite recall in what terms, tells us otherwise.
That is correct. At the time, I did not recall receiving anything from the office of the minister.
So why didn't you say, no, why didn't you say, I don't recall? You definitively say, no, not at all.
Not at all. Correct.
So what was Ad Hoc to believe? What if Ad Hoc believed that statement? You intended for Ad Hoc to rely on that statement.
That is correct. I did not recall remembering, that's stupid English. I did not recall receiving that from the office of the minister.
Yes, Commissioner.
You see, Advocate Johnson, your testimony yesterday was that IDAC received the minister's letter, and
Correct.
the minister's letter was unhelpful. And you instructed Perumal to get an affidavit from Adams. Now, that's completely different to what you said to the ad hoc, because the impression you are creating here is that it is Adams who came to IDAC, and this thing landed on IDAC's desk, when in fact yesterday we agreed that based on the minister's letter, or rather the letter from the minister's office, it is IDAC that reached out to Mr. Adams. So which is which now? Because here it's Mr. Adams who's coming to IDAC, but yesterday you were quite clear that it's the minister who came to IDAC. The letter from the minister was not helpful. You then instructed Perumal to reach out to Adams, and that's how the Section 27 affidavit came about.
That is the correct position, Commissioner Kumalo. When I say that Mr. Adams came to IDAC, it is Mr. Adams who wanted IDAC to deal with his matter. But the position, as I indicated yesterday, is the position of having first received a letter from the minister. I did indicate that there were no attachments. I therefore asked Mr. Perumal to please engage Mr. Adams, as Mr. Adams wanted IDAC to deal with his matter.
Okay. So, and then the last engagement on that page, your response to the ad hoc gives the impression that Mr. Adams's referral landed on your desk in the middle of December 2024. Now that cannot be correct, because on the 6th of December, you gave the authorization, the Section 28 sub 13 authorization. So it cannot be correct that the referral landed on your desk in the middle of December 2024. Because that is the question. Advocate Arendse says, after the referral in November, when did the matter land on your desk and what work would have been done on it? So the question, although it's 3 questions in one, it is specific. When did the matter land on your desk? And your response is, at the time I received it, it would have been the middle of December 2024. That was incorrect, what you told the
This is incorrect, yes.
Because already by the 6th of December, you had engagement not just with Perumal, but also with the prosecutor.
That is correct.
Because you would have, by the 6th of December already, looked at the application from the prosecutor and formed a view that you are going to authorize investigation into those 12 people that we mentioned earlier.
That is correct, Commissioner Kumalo.
Thank you.
The question is, why did you say to the Ad Hoc committee that you received the Section 27 in the middle of December? Why would you say that?
At the time, Commissioner Baloy, that was my recollection. In coming to In coming to this commission, I had to offer myself properly with all of the facts. I'm not saying that the ad hoc was not important. I didn't go through all of this detail with my team when I went to ad hoc.
But you would have prepared to go to ad hoc. I mean, yes. I suspect they will be deeply offended if they are to understand you to mean you went to that committee without preparing and looking at your records on this matter. So I must assume that you prepared when you went there. You knew what the issues were. There are terms of reference, as in the question